Hi, this is Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse Frugally. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Here I do crafts and dump hauls, furniture flips, and lots of trash to treasure. Today I wanted to do both a dump haul and a few trash to treasure flips for you. We have a wonderful opportunity at our dump to take whatever we want off of the good table, and so that is where all of these items came from. Today, most of them are smalls, a few wooden eggs, and a few wooden egg holders or egg cup holders that actually would make great feet on a riser. This adorable little table, I'm going to make this over in my next video when I do spring. So today that is not going to be one of the trash to treasures, but stay tuned. A couple of these thermometers. This cute little ironstone pitcher you might have seen recently. I used it in one of my other videos, but actually this is the dump haul that it came from. Just cleaned that up. Same thing with these beautiful crystal candle holders. Ran those through the dishwasher, put a couple of candles in them, and those are absolutely beautiful as is. Then this bookcase was on the side of the road. It is an IKEA, so it's not solid wood, but once I clean it up and paint it, I think it'll be great. This adorable little scoop, I just decided to use that in my craft room with the bucket full of also from the dump corks, and I just hung that on the edge of that wire basket, and that is that. This black mirror that I'm sure I will be able to use in the future. This angel, interesting looking thing that has a lamp and greenery at the center of it, and a pair of red candlesticks that I am going to make over first. This was the easiest transformation. So I just went ahead and washed these with really warm water to get all of the wax off, and then took out my chalked paint, and I had purchased this charcoal colored one by Rust-Oleum, and I wanted to use it, but it was a little too dark all by itself. So I did go ahead and paint them in it, but then took the white wax and waxed over it, and then once that was cured a little bit, 15-20 minutes, wiped that back, and I liked it much better, a little more of a gray charcoal than black. And then if you remember a dump haul I had done some time back, I got a lot of ironstone and other white dishes, and I had a lot of these small plates. So since I got the crystal candle holders and didn't need any more candle holders, I decided to just using hot glue for now in case I want to take these apart. You could use a wood round on a candlestick, as I have done in the past, and just stain that and attach it with wood glue. That works as well. There's so many ideas of what you could use that for. Here it is with a bird. A nest with some eggs would be adorable. A plant, any number of things. So that is an easy one for number one. So on to number two. Now, my husband had brought home this beautiful tapestry stool from the dump. Believe it or not, people throw everything away. And it is actually in really nice shape. And I know a lot of people love the Grand Millennial style. It's not my style, so I decided to remove the tapestry. Plus the springs were broken, so it did need a little bit of help. So I took the tapestry and washed that in some cold water and soap, try to gently get the dirt out of it, and it was very, very dirty. And I decided to take this frame that I had from the dump from some time past because I liked the the wood on the edges of it. And after I cleaned and dried the tapestry, I ironed it, and I cleaned the glass in that frame to frame that piece. But I decided I wanted the frame not to be a natural wood, but to be the green or close to the green that was in the tapestry. So I just mixed a few colors together, and then I gave that just one coat. And then once that was dry, it was a little too green, so I took some of the antiquing wax and went over that and then wiped that back. And that brought that a little bit distressed to the wood as well as giving it an antique look. And then I simply glued the tapestry onto the back of the cardboard picture that had come with the frame and put that back in the glass. It was a little tricky to get it to fit into the glass, so it took a little bit of some hot glue, and then I put a paper, some brown paper on the back of that. And that is how the tapestry looked from that stool. And I'm going to put that in the consignment shop for people who like that cottagecore or grand millennial style. And so then I had item number 3 to work on, which was the base of that stool. Now, my husband did have to replace the sideboards because they were in bad shape. He took the springs off, which I have some good ideas to use the springs, and then I went and painted that entire thing black to touch up the black paint. And then he found me an old piece of plywood and cut it to the shape of the bottom. Now, to keep this frugal, instead of going out and buying a chair pad, I had an old mattress pad. So I folded that, put it on top of the wood, and then I took some quilt batting that I had on hand and covered that over the edges. And then I have a beautiful piece of fabric that I've had for years and years and years in my house that I have always wanted to do something with. And it's like a just black and cream check. So I layered all of that together and then used just the staple gun and just pulled that back and stapled that all the way around, pulling that kind of tight so that I could get the entire thing covered, and then flipped that upside down a couple of times to make sure that it looked decent. And then my husband attached the 2 pieces together with a Craig jig. And so that is all there was to it. Now, I think a foam would have been a little more professional looking than, obviously, the way that I did it, because it isn't quite exactly perfectly square when you use something softer. But I really do like the way that it came out, and it matches with my dining room where I already have a black big bench and a black hutch. And so here it is against my island in the kitchen, just to give you an idea of the finished product. And then here it is decorated in my dining room, the way that I might keep it for a little while. Let me know if you like the black and the cream check, or if you would have kept the original tapestry. So number 4, I had a plan right away for this Christmas angel thing that was at the dump. I took the entire thing apart, and I ended up actually making 3 separate items out of it, as well as cleaning the greens to keep for next Christmas. I ran the hurricane lamp through the dishwasher. Stay tuned for my spring video, and you'll see what I did with that. And there are number 4 and number 5 today are using the last 2 pieces of the angel. In an earlier dump haul, somebody had left an entire bag full of beautiful yarn. So I decided to simply tie off this skein of green yarn and wrap it around all the way up this base, the angel base. You might remember that I had made this cream one out of a sweater, and I wanted to do something a little bit different that would go with my winter and or Christmas decor for next year. And then I put one of the stars that my husband got at a dump haul earlier in the summer on the top. probably going to go ahead and put a second layer of the yarn over that so there aren't any spaces. But for now, I like the way that it came out. And now on to number 5, which is my favorite. I had the wings left over from the angel, the whole reason I took her from the dump. And I had these 2 small spindles from an earlier flip. And this bedpost, we had gotten this bed at the dump this summer, and I had already used one of the posts. And so I went ahead and painted this with Rust-Oleum charcoal. Then once that dried, I went over it with the linen white. And then once those were dry, I went with the antiquing wax and just sort of dry brushed over it to make it look nice and old and worn. My husband helped me to drill some holes so that we could attach the wings first to the base of her head and to the bottom part, or the middle part of the post. And then once the wings were attached and my rug was all filthy from all the sawdust, I glued those in with some wood glue. And that was pretty much it. We just needed a little base, a little piece of wood that we found out in the garage, and attached to the base for her to stand up. And then I antiqued that again with the antiquing wax. And you may remember, if you saw my green Christmas, that I had done another angel earlier. So here's this one in my living room, all complete. And then with the green angel. I will link that video on how I made this green angel in my description box. So I would love a comment. I'd love it if you would share this. I'm getting very close to my 1,000 subscribers. I'd love to hit 1,000 by Valentine's if possible, and I want to have a giveaway, so I appreciate your stopping by, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.